just do there. This is Frieda, and she just hollered at me when I was on the street. I thought I was in trouble for a second, but Frieda taught me a ton about urban farming this year. She's my mentor, so I'm always happy to see somebody out and about.
And Sam is one of our favorite people to have out. He can come out anytime, anytime, and get the rhubarb.
Oh, I love the rhubarb. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Take care. Tell Pastor I said hello, okay? Thank you. Oh, that was awesome. Yeah, I'm just standing there taking video of the Little Cal over here. This is a spot where you see that big pipe that was leaking sewage into the river for most of the summer. I was very happy to see it was fixed, and then very happy to see a friend. Frieda is the administrator at Faith Farms in the Emerson neighborhood where I worked this year. I actually filmed a Calumet Wilderness episode there one day. They left me to my own devices. I got to run the farm, so I made a video. But I never made that one. I still have all the footage. There are some lost episodes of the Calumet Wilderness. That was for the baby. Come here, baby. Come here. Yeah, you're making your goat noises. But yeah, for a second I hear someone yelling, "What are you doing down there?" I thought, oh boy, here we go. But hey, all's good. Hello, welcome to impromptu adventure in the Calumet Wilderness with Sam Love. I am your host, Sam Love. I'm basically right in the middle of Gary down here, kind of bottom end of the middle of Gary. This is the Little Calumet Levee Trail. I'm near Broadway, Glen Park, near Midtown. It's kind of like, honestly, it's one of my favorite parts of Gary down here because I grew up real close. I've been coming up here all my life. Yeah, so a friend who teaches at IU Northwest also happens to be in my movie, Dr. Jen Fisher. She'd pointed out earlier in the summer that this combined sewer pipe here was leaking into the Little Cal. And when I checked it a few weeks later, it was still leaking. So I'm happy to announce it doesn't appear to be leaking, but it smells something fierce down here. And that smell is the smell of sewage. You don't really get too much of a view of the river from here. Some of these phragmites are probably close to 12, if not more. I mean, some of these, between 10 and 15 feet easily. So behind me to the south, you've got the Glen Park neighborhood, a little part they started calling University Park. And then in front of me up here, you've got the Little Cal, and then you've got the Borman Expressway, and then on the other side, the Midtown neighborhood. So this, of course, was a major dividing line of race in Gary, Indiana for most of Gary's existence, actually. Midtown was a neighborhood where black people were allowed to build their homes and buy. And Glen Park, for most of its early history, was a segregated neighborhood, whites only. So this was a boundary line. So you can't really see the river too much from the trail here, but there is this little opportunity, and you can see this path is pretty well trod, and it takes us to I can't call it a bend because it's artificial, called an angle in the river. Go check that out. So you can see the turn here. It still kind of smells. I mean, we're really only like 2 or 3 blocks east of Broadway, so still got a bit of that smell. And then you've got everything that's come out of Hammond, Highland, Griffith that's flowing in here. Federal judge just said they got to clean up their act, though. So this floodplain woods here is encircled by phragmites, and to follow the river I'd have to walk through all kinds of phragmites, and no thank you. I don't want to drag those seeds all over. I don't want to walk through that stuff. If you're harvesting it to use for thatching or art and design, there's a bunch of it. Come get it. So from where I stand, about a half mile to the north, this is where the river makes another bend and goes under the Borman Expressway. And then from there, it moves in a northeast direction. It's pretty channelized up there, but I have heard of some agencies planning to re-meander the river, which is such a great word, re-meander. Love that. So I am not going to attempt to walk up to where the river is here because there is some open marsh and lots of phragmites, and it's a half mile away, which means I'd have to come back another half mile. So enjoy this view. It's an amazing thing to be so near the middle of Gary, Indiana, but have all this open space out here. And one of the things I've always really found interesting about the view from here, the interstates, the highways, look like tiny little ribbons. You know, if you're on those things, you see concrete, that's all you see in front of you. But when you're off at a distance, you just see how these little rips in the fabric and all these places and all these people go in places, very fast speeds. All right, so here I am at the eastern end of this Little Calumet Levee Trail. This is Martin Luther King Boulevard behind me. And I got the Borman here. And then back that way, about a mile and a half to the east, is I-65, which is also the confluence of the Little Calumet with Deep River. I'll slap up some old satellite images from the 1930s so you can see how much that's changed up to today. So you could take from here, walk all the way west, just about to the state line, near the river almost the entire time. It's definitely something I'm thinking about doing. I don't know if there's any plans to connect this trail to points east. This wonderful open wetland property behind me, as I understand, is owned by a gun club, so I'm not going to be trespassing in there or anywhere, right? And then, of course, you have the highways to contend with the interstates. How do you get people through that? So who knows? But thank you for joining me on this impromptu adventure in the Calumet Wilderness. Always glad to show off a bit of this city. So with that, you have a happy holiday, and I'll see you in the next adventure. Who knows when that'll be? Could be tomorrow, could be next week, could be 2 weeks. I never know when these things are going to happen, but I'm always glad to have you with. Take care.